According to Govoretne Moskva, a Russian woman is campaigning to send her husband back from Ukraine. They had heard that the Russian soldiers were very exhausted. They were going to get their hands out of the trenches. The rumors argued that the soldiers wanted to be wounded so that they could rest in statement to Ne Moskva, the wife of a mobilized soldier's wife. Russian outlet Ne Moskva. Russian troops are so tired in Ukraine. With deliberate proposal to remove their hands out of the trenches. His wife told outlet that he was campaigning with other Russian women to bring his sons and husbands home from Ukraine. According translation the Moscow Times. Many people wrote him say that some Russian troops were out of their arms out trenches get wounded. And just relax. Some write I am very tired. Let us hit us as soon as possible. He added. According to report, female did not explain exactly who made allegations. But she said she talked to her husband and a few close friends on front. Russian troops were reported to have been looking for injury to get away from the war before. This includes a Russian parachutist who fought in Ukraine. In August 2022, the Russian troops intentionally fired his leg to get away from the fight and get a 50,000 payment. Essays. Published by Ukraine. Announced a Russian soldier in Ukraine said that his mother said he had hit himself to get rid of the war in a telephone conversation. The Russian soldiers, many of whom were called to fight, described the exhausting conditions in which they were extremely working in Ukraine. Left to fight insufficient equipment, and treated as meat by their superiors. In some cases, families of soldiers claimed that they would be sent back to Russia. But risks can be arrested or fined because Russians discredited army. In report, the woman speaking with Govoretne Moskva, now founding partner of a movement that wants authorities to bring Russian soldiers home. According to the report, the woman said that her husband, who was a sergeant, was called in September 2022. He was sure that would be sent home 6 months later. But instead he was still there 13 months after started training. He came home for 2 weeks in October and said he was quiet and did not want to talk about the fight. The report said that Russian troops would make mistakes due to fatigue and will harm each other. The woman did not criticize Russia's occupation Ukraine. Instead of men who mobilized in the Great Pushing Russia in September 2022 should now stop fighting. According to outlet, the group said that he had 8,000 members and tried to organize protests. But some local Russian officials were allowed.